All right, so first off, for the people who don't really know much about you, let's say, first of all, you're a professional poker player. Obviously, I know that and you know that. But for anyone who has never heard the name Hevad Khan, can you give us just a short rundown on like your poker career?
Oh yeah, sure. Well, let's start right when I graduated high school. I played a 5-card poker game with my friends. It's like the day we graduated high school, and we're playing $5 all in front of us. And I think once we did that, every day after that, we played like every other day at my friend's house, and I must have dropped like $300, which is kind of insane considering you're buying it for $5 or $10. Mm-hmm. And we're playing 5-card draw. This is in like No Limit Texas Hold'em to like where we are today. And from there, one of my friends that was in the game, they got introduced to an older friend of mine. I said, "There's online poker," and I'm like, "I tried it out." And I had a lot of money from a graduation present from my parents, so I just keep credit card depositing on the party poker, Poker Stars, back and forth, finding out which one I liked. And eventually, I found Poker Stars, and while finding out which one I liked, I kept depositing and losing. It was embarrassing, but it was also strong addiction at the same time. And over time, all of my StarCraft friends, I got into it, were like, "Hey, you gotta like practice bankroll management. You gotta like play proper. Stop playing with these hands. Fold more and all of that." And as time go on and repetition and diligence, I found sit and goes, mm-hmm. a 9-man sit and goes on Poker Stars turbo format of the $16 buy-in, and I would start with like $100, and I would like start with like 80, work it up to like a couple hundred, and I'd do a lot of cashing out because that's what you do. You're like, yeah, man, I just won that money. Like, people don't think properly. When you play a $16 buy-in, you got to think your actual return on your investment in the long run is like maybe $1 for each sit and go. I was seeing myself putting in 80 and always walking out with like 500. So, all through this amateur behavior, like as time goes on, you start to learn that, well, maybe now I should be more proper with it and like, work my way up properly, learn the game, practice bankroll management. Throughout my entire career, I even though I kept giving good advice, I could never take it. I always had terrible bankroll management. In fact, I was up to like $70,000 bankroll playing sit and goes, and I was 40 tabling a mega multi-tabler just on one monitor, and I was playing everything from like a $100 bind all the way up to 500. I was trying to reach Supernova Elite on Poker Stars, okay, which is like a VIP system where if you play a certain amount of like tables and hands per day, then that like means you get bonus points, and if you get a X amount of bonus points, you reach that status, and they give you packages to go play tournaments such as Monte Carlo in Europe, the EBT run by Poker Stars, the World Series of Poker main event, the W Coupe main event. You get all these free main event seats, and you also get a cash bonus at the end as well. So, and a higher rakeback deal. And I went broke in the process of doing that. I reached 70,000, and in a matter, I think, of 3 weeks, I lost my entire bankroll. So I switched to tournaments, and that's where I'm coming now into my current story, where I managed to regain that entire bankroll from a couple thousand all the way back up to 70,000. And I was playing satellites into the main event on Poker Stars. Mm-hmm. I won 5 packages before that main event that year in 07. Then I went there, I played all the preliminary events. I took the skills that I learned playing Poker Stars sit and goes, and I applied them to the live satellite sit and goes. And I was able to win a couple more seats, 10K seats, by putting in 1,000. And from there, I had, I think through the end of all of that, the money spending and buying stuff and all that, I'm pretty reckless with money. I had enough to enter the main event, which would be half of my bankroll. And towards the end, my buddy's like, "Hey, I don't know, maybe you can stake me into the main event." He's like, "I'll buy half your action." I'm like, well, let's see how this one sit and go I'm in goes. And I won the sit and go, so I'm like, oh, I guess you're not staking me. I enter with half my bankroll, and then I get 6th. It was probably the sickest rush of cards I've ever had in my life. I felt like I played well. I put in a lot of time playing online. Mm-hmm. I played all those preliminaries to get my live confidence up. But going into that, day one, I had aces 7 times. I had kings, queens. I had like 6 sets. That brought me up to like one of the chip leaders at the end of day one. I think it was day 1D I played. So after that, the big score, main event, final table, the big rush. The whole story about my acting out and all of that. And it was really in the moment, and I don't regret anything I did and said. This is life we're talking about here. It's not something you should repeat. I always feel that people should live their lives honestly. You shouldn't really act and repeat acting for the sake of keeping up keeping up the dream and the hype of what you just accomplished. You can't do that. Everything is about authenticity, in my opinion, and you should never ruin a good thing. It was what it was. I'm not saying it was then. I was a kid. I'm not going to make an excuse for it. I still am that guy, but I'm not going to go around and parade it because that's who I am. It's not who I am. I acted like that. It was an action I did in my life, but now I'm just chilling. You know, I'm still trying to figure out what I really want to do. I still love poker, but for now, you know, that's what it was then. And every time I think about it, I smile. You know.
Yeah. The World Series of Poker 2010 has already started. It's halfway through the preliminaries at this point right now, and the main event starts in just a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
And are you going to be playing in it?
I would say that we're probably about 70 to 75% through the preliminaries.
Okay.
I will be playing the main event. There is a 100% chance you'll see me in that, unless
They don't show you.
99.9% chance. And I will be playing day 1D preferably. If not, you know, it really doesn't matter. Whatever day I find that I'm not doing something. Historically, I always do the best in the main event. I don't know what it is. I always do terrible in the preliminary events, and I don't know why. Why would a $10,000 event be any easier? God knows. And I'll be playing that. I played a lot of the preliminaries this year. I've had no cashes. It's been quite the miserable World Series for me. I felt I've played well. This is tournament poker. You know, not everybody's supposed to be dealt a lot of good hands and play well and win. Like, you know, I felt that I've played well enough throughout all the tournaments to where if I played the same, I've played probably a little bit better now than some of the times when I've played worse. And I've had a lot of luck those times when I played worse, and I've just completely demolished and won. And there's just sometimes you just can't lose, you know, the cards and the situation and the circumstance. People are messing up, other people are getting coolered. You're being steady, you're winning a coin flip when you get into it. Like, your patient play is being rewarded by a lot of good hands and good circumstances. So you can't control everything. It's been bad for me, but I've been able to handle it very well. I think that, like, my patience has grown in poker a lot. So that's just about it. You know, you take what comes your way is the best way I can put it.
Who are some of the? You said you started online. Did you have any sort of online idol that you wanted to sort of emulate, or did you have sort of the live idols that you wished you could play with when you were first starting?
Oh yeah, perfectly. When I first started watching on TV, I thought Chris Moneymaker and Greg Raymer. I really wanted to be there with them too. I know that they just took on poker casually. I'm like, it seemed really cool, that the excitement they're bringing to the table and the momentum and everything. And now they're both members of Team PokerStars, and I'm glad to have joined and be a part of the team with them. And they kind of inspired me to get into all of it. Also, like, you know, watching Phil Ivey on TV, clearly, watching Phil Hellmuth. I mean, a lot of people have mixed opinions on the guy, but I've played with him in several tournaments, and I mean, I think he's hilarious. I like the guy. I think he's a genuine person, and if you know him in real life, he's a genuine person. If you just watch what you watch on TV, that's what, you know, any person can be like, oh, well, he's a mean guy, or oh, he's such a brat and all that. Like, I mean, you know, it's for TV, you know. I mean, use your head. You really think somebody is sincerely going to act like that to people? Outside of a casino, he's not like that at all. You know, he's a very, very humble, nice guy, and I think he's hilarious. You just have to not take it serious what he's doing.
I think he's very entertaining as well. I remember he wore that, what was it, like a general's outfit or something last year? That was pretty ridiculous.
It's stupid. It's funny. It's good.
All right. Anything else poker related you'd like to talk to everybody about before we switch topics a little bit towards gaming and StarCraft 2 sort of stuff? Maybe for gamers who have been eyeing poker but are kind of nervous to take that step.
Man, I really don't want to say it. Don't get into the game right now. It's pretty bad right now. The games are really hard online, and I don't want people to jump into something. I'm giving honest advice here. It's really hard, and that's the general consensus among a lot of us competitive cash or tournament players. For a beginner, it's hard right now. If you are playing, it's different because you probably have a better gauge of what's going on. But winning at the low stakes has become a problem now for a lot of, you know, low stakes regulars. So don't get into it. So let's switch on to the StarCraft.
Sure. All right.